You know that feeling when you're trying to explain something you're really excited about, and you just see the other person's eyes glaze over? It's tough, right? Especially with really technical stuff. Well, today we're going to dive into how to fix that. We'll use this really cool case study about a satellite protection system to see how we can turn a super complex idea into a simple and honestly a really powerful story.
Okay, so let's look at the kind of language we're talking about. This is from a project called the Orbital Incident Management Platform, or OIMP. I mean, enterprise architecture layers, system mission alignment. It's all correct, for sure, but it doesn't exactly make you feel anything, does it? This right here is the exact problem we're going to solve.
So, here's the real challenge. The OIMP, like a lot of crucial technology, is something most people will never ever see or touch. It just works quietly in the background, protecting us from these invisible but very real risks. So, how on earth do you get people to care about something they don't even know exists?
And this, right here, is the question that most technical explanations just completely miss. The engineers, they know why it's critical, but there's this huge gap between their complex systems and the regular people they're actually trying to protect. If you can't answer the "so what" question, your message is basically dead on arrival.
But the team behind this project, they got it. They totally understood that to close that gap, they had to stop talking about the tech. They needed a completely different angle, one that started with a really simple, really human question. And this was the light bulb moment. They realized the project wasn't just a pile of software and satellites. No, it was an answer to a much bigger question. How do we keep people safe from threats they can't even see? The real story wasn't in the technology at all. It was in that fundamental human need for safety.
And that one simple question, man, that was the key. It unlocked everything. It forced them to get way beyond what the system does and to focus completely on why it matters to someone who will never see a single dashboard or a single line of code.
So, if the answer isn't in the tech details, where is it? Well, you have to look way, way higher up. The answer is found in a framework that connects the technology all the way up to the culture that it's designed to serve.
Okay, check this out. Think of it like a pyramid or an architecture of meaning. Most technical projects live down here in the basement, focused on technologies and processes. But the stories that we all actually understand and connect with, they're born way up at the top, at the level of people and culture. The technology is the foundation, sure, but the meaning, that's cultural.
And this way of thinking led them to something called narrative architecture. Now, this isn't just some fancy marketing term. It's about strategy. It means you do the real deep thinking first to figure out the real, authentic purpose of a project before you even think about writing a script or designing an ad.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because this is so different from regular advertising. Traditional ads often start with the what and jump right into making cool visuals. Narrative architecture flips that completely. It starts with why. It digs and digs for the true purpose, so the story you end up telling isn't just decoration, it's a real expression of the project's soul.
All right, so they have this new strategy. How did they actually use it to change the story of this super complex platform? Well, they found the entire narrative hiding in a single word. The answer to why should we care? It turned out to be one simple word: care. This whole system wasn't about managing orbital incidents. It was about care. It was about preventing danger long before anyone ever has a reason to be afraid. And that one word, it changed everything.
And once they had that word, care, they could build a whole story around it using these really powerful human symbols. You have the curious boy with his telescope. That's all of us, looking up in wonder. The mother's reassurance. That's emotional safety. The human operator in the loop shows that this tech is here to serve people. And that shooting star becomes a beautiful meteor, not a piece of scary debris, all because the system is working.
And what's cool is that this story completely flips the script on a movie like Don't Look Up. Instead of a story about leaders failing and everyone panicking, this becomes a story about reassurance. It's about being proactive, so we can all live our lives without that fear hanging over us.
I mean, think about what this quote is really saying. The whole point of all this complicated tech isn't just to track stuff in space. It's to give people the freedom to look up at a calm sky and just feel at peace. The technology gives us a very human sense of safety.
Okay, let's bring this all together. Why does this whole shift from tech speak to a human story matter so much? Well, it all comes down to being able to answer one simple, honest question.
Just picture it. A kid looks up at you and asks, "Hey, why do we spend so much money on stuff like this?" You can't answer with telemetry or enterprise architecture, right? You need an answer that connects with them on a human level, an answer they can actually feel.
And there it is. That's the answer. That simple sentence connects a multi-million-dollar space tech platform directly to one of our most basic human emotions, the feeling of being safe. It makes the investment make sense in a way that just resonates with everybody.
And that's really the heart of it all. When you stop talking about how a system works and start explaining why it matters to us as people, you make the technology meaningful for everyone. You build support and understanding that goes way beyond just the experts in the room.
So I want to leave you with this question. Think about the complex projects in your own life, in your own work. What's the deep human story that's hiding behind all the technology, all the data, all the jargon? How can you find the care in what you do?